Welcome to Pen Positive Out class, where we talk about work, life, and the life at work. This is Vinod Narayan. Thanks for tuning in. Meetings. Have you ever wanted to run out of a meeting screaming at the top of a voice? Yes, that's a bit dramatic, but most of us have sat through meetings where we were disinterested, we were frustrated, or wondering why we were there. And if we are honest, we have also been on the other side. We have called meetings that slowly drifted away from what we expected. Conversations moving in different directions, people talking past one another, the energy dropping. What was supposed to create clarity sometimes only creates confusion. But every now and then, there are some meetings that feel different. Ideas move freely. People build on each other, each other's thoughts. You walk away with energy instead of exhaustion. I sometimes wonder how much of that experience is actually in my control. My guess is probably not much, maybe half at the best. Context matters. Personalities matter, timing matters. And it all changes depending on whether you are leading a meeting or simply being part of it. But there is one part that might be within our reach: how we show up. And earlier this week, I was reminded of something very interesting. On Monday morning, I was in a meeting where I felt visibly frustrated. By evening, that feeling had grown so much inside me. I tried to read but could not focus. I kept opening Slack again and again and again, almost as if I was looking for something that could resolve that feeling, or maybe I was probably looking for something to trigger myself. Looking back, it probably wasn't really about anyone else. It was about my own expectations about how I thought other people should behave, how decisions should unfold, how conversations should move. I carried that frustrations through the evening and eventually to my bed. I don't control others and I don't have to. That should not be my trip in life. I should let go. I should understand that I'm not important. The next day, I had another meeting. But before joining, I tried something different. I tried a small mental shift. Instead of trying to steer the conversation or evaluate everything that was happening, I just decided to simply listen and understand. Just listen and understand. The meeting turned out to be one of the most useful ones. And one of the most useful ones that entire week. Not because anything dramatic happened, but because the moment I focused on understanding instead of reacting, the situation felt lighter and clearer. Nothing outside had really changed. Only my perspective. That had changed. And it made me think about how much of a professional life happens inside meetings, discussions, decisions, disagreements, alignment, misalignment, misunderstandings. We spend a large part of our careers inside rooms like that. Maybe the skill is not learning how to control every meeting. Maybe it is learning how to enter a meeting with a different mindset. Because sometimes the difference between a frustrating meeting and a meaningful one is simply the mindset we bring to that room. I'm reading Dostoevsky's Idiot, and the central character, Prince Mishkin, he says, people suffer because they misunderstand each other. People suffer because they misunderstand each other. And I think that's very profound because so much misunderstanding, between groups, between departments, between people, in life, in work, that makes us all suffer. And many times we don't do anything. We don't try to call and talk to the person to clear that misunderstanding. We judge. Then we have our perspectives. Then we have our emotions. We just keep working on that misunderstanding without ever doing the one important thing, talking to that person and clearing that misunderstanding. I'll see you all in the next episode with some other topic about life, work, and life at work. You guys take care. Thank you.